What if one president completely changed American politics? Forever. A man born in poverty, a war hero, a fierce populist, and one of the most controversial leaders in U.S. history. This is the story of Andrew Jackson, the 7th President of the United States, a man loved by millions and feared by many. From the battlefield to the White House, from democracy's expansion to devastating policies like Native American removal, Jackson didn't just lead America, he reshaped it. Andrew Jackson was born in 1767 on the frontier between North and South Carolina. His childhood was harsh. He lost his family during the American Revolution. By age 14, he was an orphan, but hardship forged his personality. Tough, aggressive, and fiercely independent. Jackson rose from poverty to become a lawyer, then a military leader, and finally, a national hero after his stunning victory at the Battle of New Orleans in 1815. That victory made him a legend. To many Americans, Jackson represented something new, not an elite politician, but a man of the people. The election of 1828 was one of the most intense in American history. Jackson ran against incumbent President John Quincy Adams. The campaign was brutal. Personal attacks, scandals, and accusations flew from both sides. But Jackson had something powerful: the support of ordinary Americans. Farmers, workers, frontiersmen. When the votes were counted, Andrew Jackson won in a landslide. For many, it marked the rise of a new kind of democracy, Jacksonian democracy. Jackson believed government should serve the common man. During his presidency, voting rights expanded for white men. Political power shifted away from elites. Public participation increased. His inauguration in 1829 was chaotic. Thousands of supporters flooded the White House, breaking furniture, climbing tables. It was democracy unleashed. But Jackson's version of democracy had limits. It excluded women, African Americans, and Native Americans. And that contradiction would define his legacy. Jackson introduced what became known as the spoil system. The idea? Reward political supporters with government jobs. To Jackson, this was democratic. He believed ordinary people could serve in government, but critics saw corruption. Unqualified individuals were given powerful positions. Still, the system strengthened Jackson's political power and ensured loyalty within his administration. One of Jackson's biggest battles was against the Second Bank of the United States. He believed the bank gave too much power to wealthy elites. Its leader, Nicholas Biddle, disagreed. The conflict became known as the Bank War. Jackson vetoed the renewal of the bank's charter. His message? The bank was unconstitutional and dangerous. Supporters cheered, but critics warned of economic instability. Jackson later removed federal funds from the bank, placing them in smaller pet banks. This decision contributed to financial chaos, and eventually, the Panic of 1837. Another major crisis emerged in South Carolina. The state claimed it could nullify federal laws it disagreed with, specifically, tariffs. Jackson strongly opposed this idea. He believed the Union must be preserved at all costs. He even threatened military action. With help from Henry Clay, a compromise was reached. The crisis ended, but it foreshadowed tensions that would later lead to the Civil War. Perhaps the most controversial part of Jackson's presidency. The Indian Removal Act of 1830. This law forced Native American tribes to leave their ancestral lands. They were relocated west of the Mississippi River, despite resistance and even Supreme Court rulings. Jackson pushed forward. The result was devastating. Thousands of Native Americans died during forced marches. The most infamous journey, the Trail of Tears. This remains one of the darkest chapters in American history. In 1835, Andrew Jackson became the first U.S. president to face an assassination attempt. A man named Richard Lawrence fired 2 pistols at him. Both misfired. Jackson reportedly attacked the man with his cane. He survived, and his legend grew even larger. Andrew Jackson left behind a complicated legacy. He expanded democracy for many, but denied it to others. He challenged elites, but strengthened presidential power. He was a champion of the people and a leader responsible for immense suffering. Today, Jackson remains one of the most debated presidents in American history. Hero or villain? The answer depends on who you ask. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And let us know, was Andrew Jackson a hero of democracy or a deeply flawed leader?